this week's recap of The Amazing Race.
It was a 2-hour episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm loving it. All right, so they were in Monaco, and Laura and Tyler enjoyed another date night.
It seems like there's some good vibes there, but they're so focused on the race, they don't want to think about that.
That's okay. So they find out that they're going to be flying to Namibia.
Or, as Mike called it,
Namibia?
Namibia?
All right, so...
That's Africa, by the way.
It's in Africa.
Yeah.
The continent. Because Africa's not a country.
I know that.
It's a continent.
Yeah.
All right, so it's time to sign up for a flight.
All right, they're all on the same flight on the way over, but then they have to sign up. There's 6 different bush flights.
Right. Well, Haley and Blair, they started this leg of the race in first place, and they ended up on the last bush flight.
Ooh, consolation prize, hot pilot.
Hot-assed pilot. All right, so...
Haley was all about it, and Blair was kind of like, yeah, well, as long as she's happy and not yelling at me, it's all good.
I don't know. I seem to see a little chemistry between the two of them, even though they
It's
are
really
so
weird. I'm kind of
abrasive.
feeling like that too. Like now they kind of like figured each other out a little bit. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
All right, well, they have to proceed to the Bushman village, and on the way there, they have to pick up a salt lick.
Yeah.
And Laura and Tyler, they ended up getting another date night
That's
for the
like
future.
the 3rd one.
I know.
Crazy.
All right, so it's a roadblock. Who's feeling grassy?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
you?
Didn't you love when they had to break that egg?
I didn't like that.
Okay. So the person who was doing this roadblock had to help the Bushmen build this grass hut, which was like a really cool process.
I don't think they spoke English either, so they kind of had to observe what was going on. And,
Yeah, they had an example going, and then you had to be like as helpful as possible. They were like digging holes, bending
that dirt
tree
was
branches.
tough to dig in, and they were digging, I'm pretty sure, with like antelope's horns.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
Or gazelle horns,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Rochelle and Mike couldn't even freaking start their car to get there.
They were having a hard time getting there.
I'm sorry, if you're going on the Amazing Race, you better damn well know how to drive a stick. Otherwise,
Bergen and Kurt.
yeah. All right, so
Laura and Tyler, they started this
Yeah.
roadblock, and then they were like, oh crap, we don't have the salt.
So they had to go back, and they came back, and they were like in last place, kind of.
Everyone else was already there.
And they ended up finishing first.
Wow.
Because Tyler is he's an amazing builder. He has such building skills.
Apparently.
All right.
Haley was having a good time waiting on the sidelines. There were a bunch of kids there, and she was just
What the
playing with all of them.
She found this tiny, tiny baby. At first, I thought it was a doll.
Cute. So cute.
It was just like goo goo gaga.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tyler, like we said, finished first, and Mike and Rochelle finished last.
Yeah, it took a while.
After that, they had to drive to the old Ranger headquarters.
All right, drop off your salt and pick up your clue.
Exactly, and it's a detour. It's either track or pack.
All right, so let's talk about pack first.
Okay.
They had to feed these wild dogs.
With wildebeest meat, cut
Yeah.
from a wildebeest carcass.
So they had to like cut off the meat and then chop it up, fill up this bucket, and then drive out to meet the dogs.
I want to throw up just thinking about this.
It was gross. But there were only a limited number of
I
spots.
believe there was only 3 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So some people got forced to take track, even though they didn't want to.
Track seemed really cool, but I guess people weren't doing it because it sounded a little more complicated.
A little more difficult. They had to locate an elephant, I guess, with a radio collar using some telemetry, and telemetry doesn't sound right. They had to use this tracking device thing.
They had to drive around with the antenna and be like, blub, 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 blub.
It was a little dangerous too, because if you weren't paying attention, it could have gotten like ripped out of your hands as
Yeah.
you were driving, because there's a lot of bush
Or
there.
hit you in the face.
Well, Allie and Steve got forced to do that because all of Pack was taken at
So
the
did
time.
Haley and Blair.
Yeah.
They were the only 2 that ended up doing that detour.
Right. Weren't those animals just beautiful?
In all
All
challenges,
aspects.
yes.
The elephants and the giraffe.
The dogs were pretty cool too.
The dogs were beautiful. They were like German
They're like
shepherds wearing
spotted.
patchwork quilt dresses.
Mm-hmm.
And those tails, though. All right, so...
So then, it's off to the pit stop.
And Matt and Ashley have an epic-sized freak out!
This pit stop was really far away.
Oh my God, Matt, put it in reverse now!
Yeah, because Laura and Tyler were behind them, and they decided to stop
To look at the
to
map.
look at the map. And they were just like, why are they not behind us? Where are they?
That was crazy. And then Matt gets out of the car. He's like, what's going on over here?
What's going on? It was nuts.
Oh my God. So the pit stop is at Spitzkop, and Allie and Steve had a flat on the way there.
She was like, I told you, drive in the middle of the road. You're too close to the left. No!
I knew you were going to hit that, but I didn't want to say anything.
I mean, they really blew that tire.
Yeah, it was off
It was
the rim.
demolished.
All right, so Mike thought it was Spitzkoppy.
Yeah, it's fun.
Copy cop.
All right, so let's talk about the pit stop.
Matt and Ashley and Laura and Tyler were in a foot race for first and 2nd, and I can't believe that Matt and Ashley beat them out.
How gorgeous was that pit stop?
That was amazing. It was up on like this Pride Rock thing. I didn't think that they were going to be able to climb up there, but apparently they did.
Matt and Ashley took the more difficult but shorter way, so that's how they beat out Laura and Tyler.
Each won $5,000 dollhouse for their wedding. Nice. All right, so Laura and Tyler were in 2nd, like we said, and Haley and Blair came in 3rd. They were pretty happy about that. Jenny and Jelani in 4th. Mike and Rochelle ended up pulling ahead of Allie and Steve because Allie and Steve had car troubles of a different kind.
They had some issues.
They knew how to drive it, they just couldn't because the tire was flat.
Yeah, so Steve ended up changing that tire out, but it was just a huge time deficit.
They went from 0 to 0. They started off this leg in first place.
No,
and
they didn't.
They didn't start off in first place. But they ended up in last place. But it's okay because it's non-elimination.
Did they? No. They didn't. Okay, I was going to say, I got confused for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was a non-elimination leg.
Put it in reverse.
They have another chance.
All right. So next time they're going to have to do the old speed bump.
Ooh.
So that's where we leave you guys. That was the first episode. And now we are going to proceed to part 2 of the 2-hour.
Make sure you check it out.
Yes. And until part 2,
Much love.
Edit.